Welcome to Indie Film Cafe. If you love to watch movies or are interested in the art and industry of independent film, join me to see independent films and interviews you won't see anywhere else. Indie Film Cafe is your connection to the world of independent film. Today on the show, we'll speak to well-known Broadway actor, television, and movie star Charles "Rock" Dutton. Charles "Rock" Dutton is a well-known face on stage, television, and the movie screen. He has and continues to add to a prestigious resume. He's been in big films such as A Time to Kill, The Piano Lesson, Against the Ropes, Gothika, and Secret Window. He's also stepped in the shoes of a director, directing 3 projects: First Time Felon, HBO's The Corner, and the critically acclaimed film Against the Ropes.
Come on now, in a minute when I say again. That's why I put him in with a bigger man, so he can learn how to move. Hey! Hey, boy, you want to fight like a damn hoodlum? I'll toss your black ass back out on the street. You think I'm playing with you? I ain't playing with you, boy.
Dutton, sometimes better known as Rock, was also the star of the television series of the same name, which aired for 3 years. Rock was gracious enough to sit and speak to us about his thoughts on acting and directing as a profession and a passion. Here's how he fell into the world of professional acting.
Oh, I fell into it in an extremely, very different way, probably like no other person has fallen into it. I didn't want to do it as a child. I never acted before. I never read any plays. I left school in the 7th grade, so, I didn't get a chance to do any real English lit stuff, But I went to prison many times in my life, and the last time I went to prison, a girlfriend of mine sent me a book of plays. And I read a couple of plays and found one very hilarious. So I started a drama group in the prison. And we did a couple of plays in prison. I didn't know what the hell I was doing, but I was directing them and acting in them. And it started from there. I had kind of discovered what I was born to do. I got out and went back, I got my a 2-year college degree in prison. Got out and got my BA degree at a school called Towson State University in Maryland. And then I messed around doing local theater in Baltimore and Washington for about 18 months. And then I applied to Yale School of Drama and was accepted at Yale. So I went from jail to Yale. So I thought that was kind of funny. It was so funny. I spent 7.5 years in prison, and I told myself, I'm going to spend that much time trying to be an actor. And after 7.5 years, if it doesn't work, I'm going to go back to robbing banks. But it was interesting. 7 years and 8 months later, I got my first break, and it was on a Broadway show.
The facet of acting that Dutton loves most is the stage. He was a member of the original Broadway cast of August Wilson's Ma Rainey's Black Bottom, as well as the Pulitzer Prize-winning The Piano Lesson. Let's hear his take on theater and the stage.
Theater and stage is the only place where the actor controls the drama. You don't have any control of it in film or television because the camera is there and that controls it, and the director or the executive producers control it. But it's bare, it's live, it's organic, you are in charge of it. You control how deep the drama will go, or you control how funny the humor will be. And so it's a lovely position to be in. It's true freedom. There's nothing like it because you can tell yourself before the lights go up, for 2.5 hours, I'm gonna leave this life for 2.5 hours. And it's not that you never know that, you don't completely leave you. You know it's yourself, and you know that that your knee hurts, and you know you're tired, but it's still a way to do everything you always wanted to do. If you said, I want to just leap up in the air and dash across that table, and do a somersault, and I want to get on my knees, and I want to crawl, you're free to do all of those things, and you're not judged by it. No one's calling you crazy. I don't compare the two as being one better than the other. But on film, you don't have to project, you can really deal with the language. You can say the words and the sentences and the speeches naturally without all the verve that you have to do on the stage. You have to be willing to lose a little bit of yourself. And as a director too, you know, I really don't consider I've directed 3 projects in my life, and I have a love-hate relationship with directing. I hate it with a passion. People who are directors, I have huge envy and respect for, because I don't know how they do it. I really don't know how they do it. You're the first one there and the last one to leave as a director. You're responsible for every damn thing. You wind up despising actors. Every time I direct, I want to tear up my SAG card, my acting card, you know, because then you know, actor in his trailer, he wants to sip his Perrier before he comes out and you're ready to shoot, or the basketball game may be on in their trailer and there's 2 minutes left, and everybody knows 2 minutes in a basketball game is 20 minutes with all the timeouts, you know, and you're ready, and so it's, and it's all encompassing as a director. I equate directing to washing a battleship with a Q-tip. That's how I equate director. You have to be everything as a director, you know. That's why I hate it. It's just, you know, Charles, what kind of car do you want in the scene? What color you want? You know, what make, what model? You know, just give me a car, man. You know, but it need, you know, you want blue texture. You know, so what how you lighting? You know, so it's I guess along with it being wiping that battleship with a Q-tip, it's also a tremendous and wonderful after the fact brain exercise. You find out how wonderful it is when it's over, but it is a big, huge, mammoth brain exercise, and it's a headache while you're doing it, but when it's over, you say, oh man, I feel I've gotten smarter.
Next, he has some advice and words of wisdom about acting and the film industry.
Best acting advice, and I mean, there's 1,000 schools of thought about acting, but the best acting advice I ever heard was something James Cagney, the great James Cagney, said 50 years ago, and it's so true. He said, what's your theory about acting, Mr. Cagney? He said, I don't have a theory. You just look the other person straight in the eye and tell the truth. And that's all that acting is. Even if you're playing a delicious liar, you know, you're only a delicious liar if people think you're telling the truth. You know, so that's how I approach it. It's a tough business. If you're going to do it, and you're going to say, if you're going to do it, then you have to say, I want to be an artist. You can't say, I want to be a star, I want to be famous, I want to make a lot of money, because you're in for a very extremely rude awakening. You have to say, this is what I want to do with my life. This is the kind of commitment I want to make. This is my epitaph. This is what I want to be remembered by. This is what I want people to talk about. This is what makes me sleep at night and what makes me want to get up in the morning. Because that way, you'll be able to handle and deal with all of the pitfalls, all of the dry spells, all of the depression, all of the deflation, all of the rejection. You'll be able to deal with it that way. The other way, I want to be a star, you know, you're liable to jump off a bridge, you know, in a couple of years, because, you know, you're in for that rude awakening. So, you know, everybody who wants to do this, you know, just know what you're in for. Just know that it's a tough industry, you know. There's sometimes the worst things are rewarded and the best things are rejected.
In Rock's opinion, the arts are underappreciated in the United States. He feels that the government should financially support them. Here's why.
The arts does transform lives. I'm a living testament of somebody who spent his life in and out of the penitentiaries. You know, I should have been dead twice in my life, you know what I mean? Or still in the penitentiary. And I read a play. So So it does work. It definitely works. Whether the powers that be believe that or want to stay with that. I mean, there's no reason on God's earth where this country shouldn't totally subsidize the arts. It just baffles me. It's just amazing that they're not totally subsidized, you know. And I mean totally. Where the government says, okay, bam, you know, we're paying for this. We're paying for this to transform lives. We're paying for this to give our kids a sense of art and culture at an early age, and we're going to make better human beings while we're doing it. It's amazing that that's not the case.
And cut.